Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday morning. We're here for a barre class, um, and we'll start on the ground, although, of course, we'll spend most of the class on our feet. And we'll finish there as well. But for a warm up, I'd like us just to lie down on the mat. You're going to want to have your squishy ball as you lie down on the mat. All of the other props, the dumbbells, and whatnot. I'm not sure if we'll get to flex band today, but if you have one handy, may as well locate it. Um, we'll just leave that for later though. For now, when we lie down, we'll potentially want the ball, but not really much else. So gather your things and go ahead and stretch out on the ground, and I'll join you there. Change my camera just a little bit. All righty. So we'll lie down and just stretch out at first. We're going to do our sort of normal toe to head warm up with a little bit of movement. And then we'll get more into the spine and the breathing itself. For now, rest. And allow your muscles to relax so the bones feel their weight. So remind yourself as you breathe here that the bones establish the posture, right? And the muscles move the bones. So we talk a lot about muscles in class. That's not a bad thing to do. But don't lose your sense of where the bones are in relationship to each other and how they're moving as we feel the movement come from the muscles. Right now, we're all stretched out. Ideally, all the joints are relaxed. And the only muscles we feel that are working, besides our heart muscle, are the muscles of the breath. So the diaphragm contracting downward to enable the inhale. And then the exhale spilling out as the diaphragm relaxes and the transversus muscle deep in the belly starts to come into play. Don't overwork these connections, simply be aware of them. Breathe in and out a couple more times. Diaphragm contracting downward on inhale. And then relaxing on exhale as the transversus muscle contracts across the width of your midsection from your pelvis to your ribs. One more. And then bring the legs to parallel. And we'll start movement with a little flexing and pointing of the feet. So let this be very slow and stretchy. Right. If you'd like to add a coordinating breath to it, you can exhale as you point your toes away and inhale as you pull your toes up. But that's optional at this point. We'll get a little bit more rigorous with the breath in a while. After you've done a couple of these rocking forward and back, end with parallel legs, toes directly up, and then roll the toes side to side, both to the right, both to the left, or vice versa. With the knees stable, this will create a rotation that goes up the entire length of your legs into your hip joints. Let that happen. Do one more in each direction, and then we'll add just a couple of ankle circles. Both ankles and feet going in the same direction or sense. And reverse that. With your feet and legs stretched out nice and long, before we bend the knees, I'd like you to walk your feet a little bit off to the right side of the mat. And that'll create a deep curve in the outside of the left hip, nice and stretched. Then scooch the center of your chest a little bit to the right as well. So we've got a crescent shaped stretch through the body, not enough to kink the low back. And we certainly want to keep the pelvis and the shoulders fully into the mat. And just let this left side of the body stretch here. Reach down through the soles of your flexed feet and release upward through the dome of your head. Move your chest and shoulders back to center and bring your feet back to the center as well. And then we walk those feet off to the other side of the mat, the left side, if you're following my cueing. And then when the feet are off to the left, the right side of the hips are stretched. We shift the upper body as well. Chest and shoulders moving leftward, creating a gentle, long curve from the soles of your feet to the crown of your head. Reaching through the shape that you've made, the soles of the feet stretching down, the crown of the head reaching up. Then bring your feet back to center. We're going to bend the knees finally and place the feet relatively close to the pelvis, but also, I don't know, 6 to 8 inches apart, so relatively wide for us. And we do a little bit of twisting here, dropping both knees to the left or both knees to the right. Do not force the knees down and don't push the stretch into a painful situation. Move slowly enough that you can avoid that. And after you've done a couple of these little sways of the knees left and right, return the legs to center. Bring your feet into a more neutral placement underneath the sitting bones and put the ball between the knees. Ball between the knees. We still have our neutral posture. We're going to focus now on the breath, inhaling through the nose, feel the diaphragm contracting downward. And then as you begin your exhale, squeeze the ball, release the diaphragm, softening the inside of the bottom ribs as you firm the sides of the waist below. Inhale, soften the squeeze on the ball. And exhale, repeat it. Make sure that you're not triggering the low back or tension in the spine at any level. Do this 2 more times, breathing in and then breathing out. Feel the bottom of the pelvis grounded, the crown of the head lifted. We are still using only the muscles of the breathing in addition to the inner thighs. Inhale, prepare for imprint. Feel where your bones are, particularly your pelvis, your spine, your thigh bones. And on the next exhale, use your muscles to move the spine into an imprint. And because the spine is attached to the pelvis rolls around the thighs through the axis of the hips. Inhale, stay here. And exhale, release imprint. Remembering that we're using the muscles to move the bones as well as the breath. Continue through 3 more rounds. Exhaling into imprint. And exhaling when it's time to release imprint. 2 more times, and that last time we'll hold the imprint. Lowering your head mat or eliminating it altogether. Having made your last imprint, you pause here and feel your feet. In your imprint, just once, I'd like you to lift your heels. We'll exhale to do that. Feel the toes, the balls of the feet into the ground, keep them grounded. Inhale, lower your heels, adding that to the mix. And then using the feet with the abs on the exhale, do your hip roll, your first one, moving the bones with your muscles, lifting vertebra by vertebra from the mat as you flex the spine and extend the hips. When you reach the top of your hip roll, Inhale here, and then exhale and roll back down. A light squeeze through the ball, moving the bones in an even way through the upper and middle spine and ribs, through the waist, through the lower back and pelvis, and landing on the ground into neutral, fully neutral this time. Please do 2 more. Exhale, squeeze the ball. We've got our feet, we're moving our bones. We feel that dynamic relationship of the bones through the joints. Muscles working. We hit the position at the top. Breathe in, and then exhale, roll down. And then one final repetition, please. When you've returned to the ground from this final hip roll, we're going to extend the arms forward to the ceiling and then move the shoulders forward and back. All right, so around the position of your ribs, we'll just scooch the shoulders to the front of the ribs, to the back of the ribs, and then find that spot in the middle where they're just right. We'll do a couple of arm reaches using this for not only core connection, but moving the shoulders. On the exhale, as you squeeze the ball, reach the arms back. Now gravity is helping you here as you move your bones. Control the rate of movement. Hold the reach as you inhale. Feel both a stretch and a support under the back of the armpit through the base of the shoulder blades. And then exhale and return. Do 3 more. Exhale, reaching back. And exhale, returning. And as you do your final 2, know that we're going to hold the last one in its reach. Make sure that you're not losing a sense of where your pelvis and your legs are. Identify the feet, their grounding. Reach the arms back one final time. And then as you bend the elbows, unshrug the shoulders, widen the chest, and slip your hands under the back of your head. Continuing smoothly, inhale, nod the chin without creating tension at any level of the spine. And exhale, squeeze the ball and bend forward. Inhale at the top. Exhale and lower. Continue nodding the head. Exhale, squeeze the ball and bend forward. Diaphragm relaxing and ribs sliding down the outside of your abdominal wall. Exhale and lower. Please do 5 total. Last 2, we'll hold the last one at the top. Now from the top, listen, we're going to do another set of 5 pulses, reversing the breath. In essence, I'd like you to exhale and lower most of the way down without lifting the bottom of the ribs from the mat. And then as you inhale, bend forward. Exhale, lower most of the way down without resting your weight into your neck or shoulders. And inhale, bend forward. Exhale, Inhale. The last one, lower all the way down on the exhale. Put the ball off to the side, keep hold of it, and make your way up to standing. Get rid of your mat, find your dumbbells. I'm going to move the camera. And when you come to standing, we're going to find our bar or countertop right away and just start walking through the feet. I got all these candles lit in the room to try and add more light. It looks kind of like spooky Pilates. Okay. So I'll get you going here. I'm going to tweak the camera just a little bit more after you're started. Once you're on your feet, you've cleared space around you. Just go ahead and rise up and walk kind of casually through the feet. Yeah. There we are. I'll face you now as we continue our little stroll. As you shift weight into each leg, feel the firming of the knee, the plant of the heel. Do one more to each side. Place the left heel down, cross your right foot over the front, and press gently into the top of the foot. Your weight is on your left leg, of course. You're just pressing gently to add stretch, the appropriate amount of stretch. We'll uncross and take this leg into a lunge. I'm going to swivel just so you can see what I'm doing. Right leg now and back. Press gently into the centering of this left knee toward the front of the ankle and into an opening of this right hip. Stretching through the hip flexor as we also open the back of the knee and ankle. Have one more breath in and out. We'll keep it pretty brief here in terms of stretch. And then back foot steps forward. We cross the other leg over and stretch the top of this foot. Should be your left one if you're following along. And then we'll take this leg that's crossed into a lunge, opening it up behind. As the front knee bends and reaches forward toward the ankle, put weight in the foot. Open this left side of the hip, the back of the knee and the ankle. And then return and find your ball. Ball goes between the knees and we do our breath exercise. Now, this is a little different than lying on the floor because we do have to hold ourselves up. Make that minimal effort by organizing around your pelvis. Put your pelvis directly over your feet so you're stacked into gravity. Put your ribs over your pelvis, your chest, your head. So really there's minimal drag on the spine, forward and back or side to side. Inhale. And on the exhale, as you release tension from the interior of the bottom ribs, wake up the inner thighs, squeeze the ball lightly and feel a grounding or reaching downward through the feet. Exhale, and to that awareness, add the lift through the dome of the skull. Long and strong through the sides of your waist. Inhale. Exhale one more time in preparation for squats or plies. You can have a hand or hands on your bar or simply hanging by your sides. And on the inhale, reach your seat back as you hinge your spine forward. On your exhale breath, stretch all the way up. Keep your heels on the ground. Explore depth in your plie. Inhaling, diaphragm contracting downward, and then exhaling that reach bottom to top as you straighten your legs. We'll go through 8 of these. So 8 honest squats or plies. Inner thighs toning and awake, connected to the arches and the toes. Halfway through, continuing. Now with this one, as we do our final 3, we are making sure to keep a neutral all the way up through the crown of the head. I know occasionally I look up at the screen to see you guys, but really our head is tracking along with the spine below. 2 more, please, so that as we hinge from the hips, our gaze is going to drop and then come back up as we straighten through the legs. Yeah. 1 more, please. Exhale or inhale, pardon me, bend the knees. And exhale, feel everything unfolding and orienting to the front visually as you orient vertically through your bones. Maybe a hand on your countertop. We'll inhale, and then on the next exhale, point through the feet, lifting the heels. On your inhale breath, reach your heels down. Exhale, lift your heels, pointing through the toes. And then inhale, reach through your heels, lowering them to ground. It's a releve on the exhale and a lowering on the inhale. Please do a set of 8. This next one will be about the halfway point. Soften the back of your neck and feel that with your bones stacked in this way, it's minimal effort to rise and lower. Do 1 more and we'll stay at the top. Keep the heels lifted. Inhale, bend the knees a little bit. And exhale, straighten the legs. We bend the knees just a little bit, keeping the spine vertical. Exhale, straighten the legs. And as we bend the knees, we're continuing to track them forward toward the center of the ankles and the toes. We have a momentary release under the hips, and then a reaffirming as we re-extend through the front of the hips. Please do 2 more. A little release, a little softening through the joints, and then affirming into stretch. Inhale, lower your heels. And then exhale, go into your deep squat. Again, make sure that the posture is neutral all the way up through the neck and the head. And maybe with the arms hanging, or maybe with the hands to the belly. We'll exhale and lower in pulses up a little. Inhale as you do that. Exhale, lower. Inhale up a little. Throughout these pulses, the feet are fully grounded. So we're keeping the arches, of course, but the heels are centered and firmly into the floor. Balls of the feet are planted, toes are stretching forward. Please do 3 more. Now, with maybe a hand or hands to your bar, inhale, lift your heels and bring your spine to vertical. Exhale, stretch your legs, fully extending upward and downward. And then inhale, lower. Exhale, plie or go into the deep part of your squat, adjusting that angle at the hips for the spine. And then inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, fully stretch. Inhale, lower. Please do 4 more, a total of 6. Last 3. Exhale. Muscles moving the bones, and we've been referring a lot to the spine. Think about your knees, your ankles, the lift of the heels with the application of the calf muscles, the feet muscles. One more. And lower. Keep the legs straight and 8 times more quickly. That is 1 repetition for each individual breath. We have a second set of releves. We'll inhale up and down and exhale up and down. Inhale. Last one. Now listen, inhale, rise all the way up. Keep the heels lifted and exhale, bend the knees. Go down as far as you can go, holding vertical through the spine. Inhale, heels plant, tilting forward, keeping neutral, and exhale, extend. 6 total, please. Inhale up, exhale, bend, stretching under the toe hinge, keeping the heels lifted. Now inhale, stretch the heels, and exhale, extend. Up. Feel the stacking of your bones. Two more up. Exhale, bend the knees. Heels reaching down. And stretch. The last one, we'll jazz it up a little bit. Oh, let's go through the full set. Inhale, heels down. Anticipation, guys. Next one, rise up. And exhale, lower your seat. Here, we're going to lower and lift the heels a few times, 8 times. Inhale down. Stay in this angle, exhale up. 6, 7, and 8. Exhale, stretch the legs. And put the ball off to the side. All righty. Pick up your right foot from outside. And just stand for a moment. Circle the right ankle. I'll get to an angle where you can see me. And go the other way with the circles. Put that right foot back in a lunge one more time. Bend the left knee. And then push off the front foot. Bend into the back knee a little bit. I'll face you a little bit here. And pull the front toes up. It's not a very deep stretch because all the various bending of this and that, it can be a little unstable. Yeah. So don't let it be wide or deep. And then we step forward and do the other side. Yeah, I'll change directions so you can see. Quad stretch through the left side, holding the ankle from outside the leg. Make circles through the ankles. And go both directions. Step that left foot back now, lunging through the other side. Oh, There's a giant dead spider on my floor. If I suddenly shout, you'll know I accidentally stepped on him. And then bend the back knee and straighten the front leg, pull the toes up and hinge forward a little bit. So stretch for under the hip, through the low back, as well as through the front hamstrings and under the sole of the foot. All right, step the legs together. Go ahead and find your dumbbells. There. I know I've got a complete set. Yeah. And we're going to stand steadily over our feet. You can use a ball between your inner thighs if you like. We're actually going to begin a little bit of shoulder work with some biceps curls. We're going to do the hammer curl version where we alternate. Yeah. So we want to stay nice and stable in the stacking of our bones and in the breathing. And without any particular breath patterning, just keeping it continuous, we do 10 across the sides, alternating. We did these last bar class as well on Tuesday. We talked about how we didn't want to lift the shoulders off the ribs, but nor do we want to press them down into the back of the neck or crush them down over the top of the chest. 4 more across the sides. Last 2. And then release. Turn the inside of the elbows and wrists forward. We're going to go ahead and bend into the knees. You can keep the ball if you're using it and use that position. I'll come a little closer. Slight tilt in the spine as a way to find both extension through the upper back and a lift of the arms forward. Exhale and inhale. Now at this point, we keep the slight extension of the upper back and exhale, lift the arms. Inhale, lower them. I'd like you to go for 6. We'll add to this after 6. Halfway through, here's 4, 5. Now the 6th one, we keep forward. And on the inhale, open the arms away a little bit. Exhale, arms forward. And inhale down. 5 more, please. Exhale. As you inhale, feel your arm bones gliding apart, shoulder blades gliding together. Bring the arms in front and then lower arms down. Last 2. Last 1. Arms down. We're going to straighten our legs, but only after we turn the inside of the wrists and elbows to face the body. And as we straighten the legs, again, you can keep the ball if you like. We're going to tilt forward through the spine and let the arms hang forward. So our last little bit of arm work for a while, we'll change back to the legs here. Now your legs, while they are actively stretching, are not necessarily straight. We want to keep the muscles engaged in the inner thighs and in the quads. And as we hold neutral spine, exhale, pull the elbows back. Inhale, release. Exhale, elbows pull back. Inhale, release. We do 6 here. Rows bilaterally, we're halfway through. Now the last one, we pull back. Inhale, extend through the elbows, recruit your triceps. Exhale, bend, and inhale, release. A set of 5. Inhale. I think we have one more. And then soften into the knees, round through the spine, push from the floor and roll up. Put your weights off to the side. Okay. So let your arms just kind of relax for a moment. You can always swing them around if you like. We're going to return to the feet and the legs, working in lateral rotation. Mhm. So swinging your arms and moving your hips a little bit will probably help unlock the hips and the lower back. All right. So moving toward our first position. And of course, you can face your bar equally if you like. Have the feet about the distance of the outer width of your hips apart. And then without hinging or pitching your upper body forward, retain the stacking of the bones and simply shift the weight slightly forward into the balls of the feet. With the heels able to skim the floor, we find the rotators under the curve of the glutes behind us, contracting them inward, rolling the trochanters backward until the heels meet, and then we ground into the floor again. Okay. Keep the stacking of the bones throughout our series of plies or squats. And on the inhale, bend the knees. Lowering, bending the knees, the pelvis descending. And then exhale, straighten the legs. Inhale, bending. Feel the top of your femur bones, the hips riding or the pelvis riding over top your femurs. That whole complex forming the hip joint. Inhale, bend. Pelvis floating down and then floating back up. Moving through our set of 8. I always get little adjustments in my knees and ankles as I do this, and that's probably a good thing. We want to make sure that we're cleaning up the alignment so that the bones glide here from the feet, through the ankles, through the knees, through the hips. Last 3. And last 1. Now, today I haven't yet said anything important about the gaze. Here's where I'm going to add this. Feel your pupils centered in your eyes on the horizon, and then see out of both of them. We're going to go into releves. Inhale, lifting the heels, both eyes rising as your head floats up. And exhale, lower through your heels as your gaze lowers a little bit. Inhale up, seeing out of both eyes, using both body halves, both halves of your brain. Exhale down. Keep it going. Four more. Last one. Inhale, bend the knees, moving into our 4-stage movement. Exhale, lift the heels, tracking, gliding through the joints and bones. Inhale, stretch the legs. And exhale, lower. A total of 6. Inhale, bend. Exhale, lift your heels. See out of both of your eyes. Inhale, stretch. And exhale, lower. Now, this could feel sort of artificial as we try to add this extreme awareness of each phase to the movement, of each movement of the bones. Please do 2 more. We want to more and more allow this kind of muscle memory and the feelings of our bones moving to become part of our movement patterning or our subconscious. One more, please. Pause for a moment. Bring the legs to parallel. Send the hips back and curve forward over the spine or over the legs as you bend the spine and release the knees. Nod your head yes. Turn your head no. And then roll up. And as you roll up, again, come to a stacking of the bones and a lateral rotation through the hips. So we're going to work into the toes, and I'll probably inch a little closer so you can see my feet. I'll change my screen angle a little bit. And in that first position, oh yeah, here's where better light would be better. We're going to take this right leg out to the side in a tendu, tracking through the path of the foot. Now your knee is straight, and I'm going to change my angle here. You can see my foot. And the heel is lifted, or the ankle is always dorsiflexed. We're going to exhale and point through the toes, and inhale and lower. Exhale, point through the toes, and inhale and lower. Please do a set of 8. When you point through the toes, we're contracting the underside of the toe pads toward the underside of the arch. Now we are retaining that stretch of the knee. Last 2. On your exhale, lower your heel. Stand between the legs. Inhale, plie, release through the calves and back of the ankle, and exhale, stretch. We're going to do the other foot, and I'm going to try and get to a spot where I'm not in the shadow. Okay. So from first position, extend your left leg on a line out into your tendu, and then 8 times on the exhale, we add the point of the toe, contracting. The knee stays straight. We're balanced on our right leg. Exhale, lower your heel. And then with your weight between the legs, inhale, little plie, and exhale, stretch. I'm going to back up now so you can see the motion of the rest of everything. Yeah. Ooh. And then from that sort of demi-second, or not all the way first and not all the way wide position, you don't need to see my head. We're here. We're going to again come to the point of the right toes. Standing on this left leg, straight through both knees, exhale, draw the heel into first, and then inhale, reach all the way out. Exhale, draw back into first, inhale out. 6 more times. 2 legs to 1. And then reach out 1 more time. Keep the knees straight on this tendu leg, and we slide or pulse downward on our standing leg. 1, 2, 3, just 4. Stay in the 4th one. We're steady on this left leg, and then we circle the right one forward to side, forward to side. Exhale, inhale. 3 more. Find the rotators. Last one. Stretch standing leg, exhale. Inhale, that right foot goes down. And then exhale, plie. Wait for it. We're going to inhale, come up on the right leg, and tendu fully through the left. On the next exhale, pull it into first. Inhale out. Exhale 2 feet to inhale 1. Exhale both. Stand on one leg. 2 more. And then here we keep this left leg stretched, the point of the foot intact, and 4 times pulse downward through standing leg. Feel the bones in your torso hanging in space. Stay. And then inhale, or I'm sorry, exhale, foot forward. Inhale, out to the side. Three more. Last one. Exhale, stretch. Inhale, foot down, and then bring your legs underneath you. Separate your heels. Bend forward, right? Let your shoulders hang. And then go ahead and come on up to a standing position. I'll adjust my camera. All right, so shake your feet out. All right, shake your hands out. This next little series is sort of overtly for the legs on the surface, but it is also for your shoulder carriage. So I want you to, in parallel, bend your knees a little bit, right? And have your hands on your lap. So neutral spine, we talked about this earlier, our gaze is tracking along with the remainder of our posture. We're going to very slightly on the exhale, in pulses, find the muscles across the middle of the shoulder blades behind us and down through the bottom of the ribs. So we'll be connecting across and down. Release the down connection on the inhale, and then exhale, contract downward a little bit. We do 4 more, a total of 6. And you should feel as you contract downward through the bottom of the shoulder blades, a stretching between the upper part of the front ribs. Do not feel a compression or a jamming into the low back or even into the bottom of the rib cage. Do 1 more and hold it. So we kind of looked at this before. Yeah, we've got this light extension through the upper ribs, a grounding through the shoulder blades, right? That when the rest of us is behind us, helps keep the head and shoulders upright. Take a breath and then exhale, let that go. Okay. So facing your bar with the feet hip spaced, outer hip spaced, we make lateral rotation using muscles under the hips. We're going to stand on our left leg and take the right leg to the back 8 times. Let's inhale and exhale. Now here, we can take the leg to the back, and it shouldn't require movement in the lower spine. And depending on how your pelvis is constructed, probably not a lot of movement there either, right? It is moving your thigh bone back and forth inside your hip. Reach back 2 more times. Inhale, reach back last time and stay. Stretch the knee. You can soften it and then stretch it a couple of times. Make sure that you've got good support inside the knee. And 6 times, we're going to pulse downward through our left leg, our standing leg. As you exhale, pulse downward. And as you pulse downward, feel the opening and the lifting of the chest. Inhale up a little, connecting across the back of the shoulder blades and down through the bottoms of them so that your head, your chest, and your shoulders remain upright. Pulse downward 2 more times. And then on the inhale, bring the legs side. On the exhale, take it back. Inhale side. We haven't locked out this hip. Exhale back. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. From the back, stretch the legs. Inhale. Exhale, right foot underneath. Please do a figure 4 stretch, crossing the left ankle, the standing leg over the right foot or right knee. It's definitely your knee, not your foot. Breathing in and out. Nod your head. Turn it left and right. And then release. Stand on your left foot and make little circles over the right leg, right toes. Go the other way as well. So you'll probably have guessed that we're going to do the other side. Shake it out. All right. Check my time. All right. Stand and breathe for a moment before getting ready to do that second side. Feel the stacking of your bones, feel an easiness in the shoulders, and feel the muscles of the breath as your primary engagement here. When you're ready to move on to the second side, we won't repeat the shoulder exercise, but you already are aware of it. We'll have the hands or hand on your bar, depending on your situation. And with the legs hip space apart, we'll bring weight into the toes, use the rotators, and bring the heels together, first position. Now, this should not feel like misery for this part of your bum and hips, right? This is work underneath and inside, and not a lot of gripping or hanging on for dear life in these areas. So remembering that, we're going to take our tendu to the back 8 times. Stretch the knee and extend that left leg to the back. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Minimal movement for the pelvis, for the spine. And of course, minimal is going to depend on how your joints and bones are put together. Couple more. We'll end with the leg back. And when the leg is back, you're standing upright on your right leg. Your hips and shoulders are square. You've got connection across the back through the base of the shoulder blades. Bend and straighten that back leg a couple of times, cleaning up its alignment and firming through the knee. We pulse downward 6 times. On the exhale, up a little, inhale, exhale down. Stay low. Inhale, circle the leg forward, and exhale around to the back. Stretch the knee forward and around to the back. Head, chest, and shoulders all upright. Two more times. Straighten standing leg. Bring the other foot in. Separate your heels, make first position. Bend into your spine, into your knees and your hips, And shimmy your shoulders, nod your head yes, shake it no. Take a breath, settle your weight into your feet, and exhale, roll up through your spine, roll your shoulders back, and take your gaze forward. Okay. Stand for a moment, catching your breath like you did last time. Oh, we didn't do the little, we'll do a stretch here. Sorry. Figure four with the right leg. Super excited to be done with that last exercise. Circle, circle, and then little circles over the left foot. Go the other way as well. Shake your legs out. And change my camera just a little bit. Let the breath slow down and get a sense of where your body is, where your bones are. And we're going to start walking through the legs. So we're going to do this almost casually too, sort of like our walks at the beginning, and try to keep the struggle out of it. Be a little lighthearted about our approach to this. On the inhale, you're going to pick up one foot, and on the exhale, put it down. This we've done before. After a couple more, we're going to start to touch the lifted knee with the other hand. So if it's left knee, it's right hand or thigh, right? You don't have to be really picky. And after you've made physical connection between the hand and the leg, the upper body across to the lower body, keep feeling that cross body connection. And when you pick up a leg, touch the opposite shoulder. Now, we're going to start to, you can keep it at any of these levels or jazz it up if you like. As you pick up a leg, you can reach other arm in front, tilt, and come back. And here's the lighthearted part. So if you fall over, whatever, just don't hurt yourself, right? But feel the relationship through the top and bottom of your body across the different sides as you pivot over what is arguably your center. Right? A couple more times across the sides here. One more time. And then stand. All right, stand with your feet underneath you. Roll your shoulders back. Center your pupils in your eyes. And then if you can close your eyes, do at the very least, just kind of soften your focus. Right? Feel the inhale moving downward as the diaphragm contracts toward the pelvis. And feel that release of contraction, allowing the exhale to be buoyant upward as the muscles of fibers of transversus become active. Inhale downward and exhale upward. Think of these muscle groups in three-dimensional terms because they are three-dimensional muscles. Feel, of course, the top and bottom of you, but also the back as well as the front, the left and right sides. That sort of engine of your breath in your belly, in the sides and in the back, allowing ease everywhere else. 2 more rounds of breath in and out. And then open your eyes, refocus your gaze. Breathe in, shrug the shoulders upward. Exhale and sigh. And you guys, that's it for today. Thanks for playing along. I hope there was something in there that was good for
Oh,
you
that
guys.
was all good. Yeah, all
All
good.
right.
Thanks,
You have a
Joyce.
good day. You're welcome. Window
Oh,
will stay
good.
open, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay, good. Bye-bye.